What's up, my friends? Welcome back to video number 2 for the night. CG just dropped the information for Galactic Legends Kylo, so I wanted to go ahead and make a video just like my Galactic Legends Ray video, which I will link at the end, so you can check that one out as well. But just gonna hop in and go over the kits and see what we think, see what the first impressions are. Looking forward to seeing some comments from you guys as well. And then to see if this one is a counter to the Ray kit or if it's more powerful, less powerful. So let's just hop right over and just kind of walk through this kit. Another crazy expensive kit. So you're looking at 6 Zetas for Ray, 6 Zelos for Kylo, plus this ultimate ability material, which I think is 10 of those to unlock that ability. So it's going to be a pricey character, but they all seem to be quite powerful. So here's your picture of Supreme Leader Kylo Ren is what they're going with the name here. Synergy's got the new First Order and Kylo Ren Unmasked showing for that. He's an attacker. He's got the First Order tag, Galactic Legends tag. So Rey has that same Galactic Legends tag. So hop into the kit. For his basic ability, inflict buff immunity for 2 turns on a target enemy and deal physical damage to them twice. That's pretty strong. Buff immunity is super useful, and then dealing damage twice to them. It's still yet to be seen what the damage is like for these characters, but if they're as strong as what they seem, these basic abilities may be wiping out characters in one shots off of just basic hits. So with these double attacks, I mean, you're talking about super strong basics for sure. Plus, with all they do, it says also if the target was stunned, deal damage again and gain advantage for 2 turns. So you're looking at a triple hit on stun targets, which one of his abilities does stun. And then if you throw like Kylo Ren Unmasked in there, you got another character who's stunning as well. So it seems going to be some quite good synergy with advantage and stuns with these teams. So if it's Kylo's turn, he gains 10 Siphon until the end of the encounter. So Siphon is kind of his special ability, kind of like the Blood Drain or whatever it was for Rey's kit. This unit will gain 1% of a stat per stack, and the target will lose that amount gained. So Kylo is going to be gaining buffs, but taking them away from the enemy characters. So it seems like it may be a random deal with what buff you get, because it doesn't say anything specific on this Siphon ability. Now, he's also got a Siphon Mastery we'll get to in just a second, which is going to hit characters' mastery per se, but this seems to be taking out maybe like crit chance or crit damage, character speed, and funneling it to Kylo Ren. So gonna make that character really ramp up as the battle goes on. All right, so special ability, Stasis Strike. We've got Dispel all buffs on all enemies and stun the target enemy for 2 turns. A 2-turn stun, that's pretty strong. And then also a Mass Dispel, also very strong, which can't be copied, dispelled, or resisted. Then deal physical damage to target enemy, and Kylo gains a 20 Siphon until the end of the encounter. So more Siphon being funneled to him from this ability. On a critical hit, Kylo gains 40 Siphon instead, and then also this attack can't be evaded. So that seems to be something that is really going into these new Galactic Legends, is their attacks will hit, and they will hit hard and often. So these attacks not being evaded by these characters is really strong. So special number 2, Furious Onslaught. Deal physical damage to all enemies. Kylo Siphon's mastery from the target enemy doubled if they were stunned, so more synergy with stuns, which can't be resisted. Then dispel all debuffs on all dark side enemies and grant them advantage for 2 turns. So you've got a dispel on your team at this point, taking all those debuffs away. You're feeding more advantage, and then you're siphoning mastery. So the Siphon mastery is different than the other Siphon. Gain a percentage of mastery equal to its units, or to this unit's Siphon, until the end of the encounter, and the target's lost, or the target will loses that much mastery stacking excluding raid bosses in Galactic Legends. Now, what's really interesting from this is that it doesn't affect other Galactic Legends. So this, to me, almost gives Rey a bit of a leg up so far in the kit reveals, because this is an ability that's one of his strongest abilities when you're talking about manipulating mastery, where hers is buffs, his is taken away, but he can't take away from her. So she may end up being the stronger one just based on what I'm seeing in this kit so far, from this simple fact that his siphon mastery cannot affect her specifically. So it makes you want to go after other characters on her team instead of her first, so you can get Kylo ramped up with this mastery stat. So that's kind of, I mean, questionable per se, because it seems like you would want this to be an attack, since hers boosts mastery and his takes away, that you would want him to be able to hit her in some way in that shape. But apparently that's something that they decided not to go with, so it'll be neat to kind of see how that plays out for sure. All right, so his leader, dark side allies have 40% mastery and plus 50% critical damage, so they're going to hit pretty hard for sure. Whenever a dark side ally loses advantage without scoring a critical hit, they gain advantage for 1 turn at the end of the turn. And then whenever a dark side ally gains advantage, if they didn't have it already, they gain a bonus based on their roll. So tanks are going to be taunting, attackers gain critical damage up for 2 turns, supporters and healers gain 20% turn meter. So you're going to be feeding stuff that's positive to the rolls of the characters who are playing that. So you obviously want your tanks taunting to take the pressure off of your Kylo Ren, or off your Galactic Legend Kylo Ren. You're probably going to want it on your Kylo Ren Unmasked, or maybe your Stormtrooper or First Order Stormtrooper. So be interesting to see the comps that people come up with these Galactic Legends for sure. So, but you are going to be sending out buffs to help your teams fit the roles that that the characters are playing. So, unique one, press the advantage. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren is immune to stagger and can't gain taunt effects, and enemies defeated during his turn can't be revived. So another can't be revived. Now, this is another one where I think, I don't know, this is pretty strong because it's his turn. So anytime he takes somebody out, they can't be revived, where Rey's is an AoE, which can take out multiple people, but when she does do that, they can't be revived. So you've got a single target kind of takeout, and then you've got a multi-target takeout with Rey on the non-revive thing. But this happens with every one of his turns. So that may be a point for Kylo in that field, taking revives off the field. So whenever a dark side ally loses turn meter, they gain 10% of their current max health and max protection stacking. Whenever a dark side ally gains turn meter, they lose 10% of their current max health and max protection stacking. So that's also very interesting, because like all of Rey's leadership was positive, where this one's got a twist on the negative side if you gain bonus turn meter. And I'm trying to think on First Order. I know that I believe the new Hux is a turn meter swap, so it's not necessarily gaining bonus turn meter. I don't know if that would count towards this effect or not, but that would be detrimental to your team if it does. And then First Order Officer, I'm pretty sure, gives turn meter. So when you use that ability, if you've got that one on this team, you're going to be hurting your team, because these things are stacking, where you are losing it for the entire time, unless you go back and gain it back up by losing turn meter some way. So I'm really curious on this one, because it doesn't seem to be as good as what Rey's is just from the first glance, but I'm sure some theory crafters out there will come up with some ways for it to be awesome for sure. All right, so Galactic Legend, this is exactly the same as Rey, and this kind of makes me think that all Galactic Legends in the future may just have this ability tagged on to them, where this unit takes reduced damage from percent or health percent effects, massive damage effects. They take massive damage from destroy effects, still wondering what destroy effects are, and are immune to stun effects. This unit has 10% max health and protection per relic amplifier, and damage they received is decreased by 30%. So an extremely strong unit for sure. And that's applied to both Rey and Kylo. And then his ultimate is different than hers. Hers is at 100%. You have to have the ultimate charged all the way up to use hers, where his, you can use it at 60, 85, or 100%, and it affects how many turns you have this advantage for based on the amount of charge that you put in. So ultimate charge, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren gains 2% ultimate charge whenever a dark side ally deals physical damage or special damage to an enemy, increased to 5% on critical hits, which with all these advantages, it should be 5% quite often, because you're pushing that advantage out to your whole team, and it's kind of what this kit plays around with the whole time. So Supreme Leader Kylo Ren dispels all debuffs on himself. This is what the ultimate does. Enters an aggressive stance and deals physical damage to all enemies, which can't be evaded. While in the stance, Kylo is immune to damage and detrimental effects. He can't be defeated. His siphon is doubled, and his abilities have no cooldown. So if you go in with 100% and have 3 turns, you can use your best ability 3 times in a row while gaining siphon, which is, you can go after the mastery siphon. So if you can use that 3 times in a row, that's probably what you're going to hit after, is that, and then maybe going after the normal siphon, because the regular siphon has an effect on how much that you siphon from the mastery siphon. So it's going to be neat to see how some people kind of play with this ability to ramp Kylo Ren up, but it seems like he is going to be a murderer that you are building up to really, really throw some damage out to other teams. So I still am leaning towards Rey at looking at this as a whole. It seems like her kit is more positive all the way around. There's no like negative. When I looked at her kit, I thought nothing negative about it. For the most part, where this one's got a couple of things I'm like especially not being able to hit the mastery level of another Galactic Legend. That seems to be almost a trump card for Rey, because she's going to have the ability to pump her team up the whole time, where yes, Kylo can hit her team, but he can't hit the most important character with his most important ability, which seems to be the siphon mastery. To bring down her level of strength, and we'll see when she's released, I'm sure, to see like exactly what her mastery stats are going to be and how that affects her kit. But if her mastery is really, really strong, like some characters really, really benefit from their mastery level. If it's unable to be touched, I think it's going to make her the stronger character out of the two. And then her 2 buddies with Poe and Finn seem to be very good as well. Now, I do really, really like this Sith Trooper, and I think General Hux is a good character as well. I think Sith Trooper is the best overall, but then I think you've got the 2 Resistant heroes right on his tail, and then you've got General Hux after that. So right now, if I could choose, and I like Kylo, I think, better as a character than Rey, from the movie standpoint and everything, but right now, if I was picking from a SWGOH standpoint and had to go after one, I would be picking Rey. One, she's going to be beneficial for those light side geo battles, and then also, she is just appears to be the stronger character as far as the kits are concerned. So, time will tell when people get in and start playing with these. The Wells in the game will definitely have both of them, so we'll get to see them in action. But let me know what you think. Which one would you go after? What do you think of Kylo's kit compared to Rey? Is it something that you think's weaker? I'm leaning towards the weaker side myself on his kit. So, like I said, time will tell how it plays out. He may be a monster when he ramps up and just one-shots Rey. So we'll just kind of see how that goes. So guys, if you like it, like the channel, like the content, please subscribe. Working real hard to give you guys quality content. I try to put out at least 3 or 4 videos per week, cover news, my my baby baby Grand Arena. I'm in Division 6, so try to get that out there. But covering guides for new players, so really enjoying it. But I hope you guys are enjoying the content. If you do, remember to like the video, subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. I hope you guys are having a blast in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Tear up those holotables and have a great night.